For generations, the name Bigfoot has conjured images of a shaggy, elusive giant, a phantom of the deep woods relegated to campfire tales and blurry film. But for the seasoned investigators of Expedition Bigfoot, former military operatives, a primatologist, and a tracking expert, the legend is a tangible, solvable mystery. Their latest expedition into the heart of a remote Alaskan wilderness has yielded a cascade of evidence so shocking, so multifaceted, that it has fundamentally transformed the search. This is no longer a folktale, it is a high-stakes scientific pursuit, and they are closer than anyone has ever been to confronting the truth. The mission began with the patient, meticulous work that defines any serious field investigation. Days turned into weeks with little more than the sounds of the forest for company. The breakthrough came not with a roar, but with a flicker of movement. Veteran investigator Russell Acord, his eyes trained on the landscape, saw it first. "This is the best lead we've gotten so far," he whispered, his focus locked on the dense foliage. "Something's moving over there." "Is that a bear?" "Maybe." Driven by a renewed sense of purpose, the team scrambled across a treacherous stream, believing the island they were on could host multiple creatures. What they discovered on the other side confirmed their suspicions in the most terrifying way imaginable. Pushing through a thicket of undergrowth, they entered a clearing that reeked of death. The ground was not just stained but saturated with blood, a dark, ugly patch amidst the green. Scattered around it were the grisly remains of a large animal, bones, hide, and body parts flung about with violent abandon. This was not the neat work of a scavenger. It was the chilling signature of a powerful, predatory force. The air was thick with flies and the metallic tang of iron. While the scene was horrifying, it was also a macabre confirmation. They were in the territory of something massive and dangerous. The trail of terror led to an even more astounding discovery. Just a few hundred yards from the kill site, pressed deep into the soft, wet earth, was a handprint. It was not merely a large impression, it was colossal, at least twice the size of a grown man's hand. The team gathered around it, their voices hushed with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "Look at this!" "Oh wow, up here!" one member called out, his voice trembling with excitement. "Oh my God, do you see that? Those fingers look long as hell, dude." This was not a questionable mark or a possible deformation of the soil. This was a clear, defined, and terrifyingly real piece of evidence. It was the most significant physical cast they had ever obtained, a tangible piece of the puzzle they had dedicated their lives to solving. As if the handprint wasn't revelation enough, the team soon found another set of marks nearby. These were not footprints, but deep, robust knuckle impressions, suggesting the creature periodically dropped onto all fours, moving with the powerful, grounded gait of a great ape. This discovery provided stunning corroboration for a theory developed by primatologist Dr. Mireya Mayer. On a previous expedition, the team had discovered a massive, hybrid-looking skull that exhibited features of both human and primate ancestry. Mireya had postulated that Sasquatch could be a unique hominid, a creature capable of bipedal locomotion but also of efficient quadrupedal travel. The knuckle marks were the missing physical proof. The investigation then took its most startling turn. As Russell and Mireya meticulously studied the various prints, a horrifying and exhilarating realization dawned on them. The handprints and knuckle marks were not uniform. The spacing, the depth, the slight variations in morphology, they were looking at the tracks of two distinct individuals. The legend of a lone, wandering beast was shattered. They were now tracking a group, a community. Faced with this revelation, the team devised a bold new strategy. Aerial reconnaissance revealed that the river they were following carved a massive, natural bowl in the landscape, surrounded on three sides by steep cliffs. The creatures, they theorized, were moving east within this basin. This was their chance. They would use the geography as a natural corral, deploying their technology to seal the valley and trap the creatures inside. The pressure was immense. If the targets slipped past their cordon, the entire investigation would collapse. The operation began with drones buzzing overhead, their thermal cameras scanning the vast expanse of forest below. Then, the voice of tech specialist Bryce Johnson crackled over the radio. "We're picking up something on the drone's thermal imaging. It looks humanoid in shape." The team on the ground split up, moving with tactical precision along the riverbanks. On the opposite side of the valley, investigator Ronnie LeBlanc heard the unmistakable sounds of something massive moving just inside the treeline, snapping branches and the heavy rustle of displaced foliage. A drone was vectored to his position and almost immediately picked up a strong thermal signature just 200 yards away. The creature was right there, so close Ronnie could feel its presence. "There's something right there. It sounds large," he radioed, his voice tight with adrenaline. But as the drone closed in, the signal vanished. The forest had swallowed the entity once again. The creature's elusiveness was frustrating, but it soon led them to a discovery that would redefine their entire understanding of what they were hunting. Following the trail higher up toward a glacial ridge, they stumbled upon a fresh kill site. The snow was crimson, sprayed and soaked with blood. The carcass of an elk or a large Sitka black-tailed deer lay mangled before them. But it was the specific nature of the mutilation that froze the team in their tracks. The animal's massive rib cage had been brutally and deliberately shattered. "This has been broken through. That's a big break," an investigator noted, his voice a mixture of clinical observation and horror. That was either bitten through or broken through. For Dr. Mireya Mayer, this was a moment of profound and chilling clarity. This was not the work of a bear, which would maul and crush, nor a wolf pack, which would disembowel. This was precision. This was purpose. It echoed the behavior of early hominins, who used tools to crack open bones and access the nutrient-dense marrow inside, a caloric prize believed to have been crucial for the development of the large human brain. The creature they were tracking was not merely a powerful animal. It was an intelligent being with an understood nutritional strategy. It was a hunter that utilized its environment, potentially using sharp volcanic glass found in nearby caves as cutting tools. The team dubbed the site the Bigfoot Massacre, and the name was apparent. They were no longer just the hunters. They had become the hunted, being watched from the shadows by a cunning, primal intelligence that knew the land intimately and operated with a terrifying purpose. After weeks in the field, the team was forced to retreat, but the investigation was far from over. Back in the lab, Bryce Johnson began the painstaking process of analyzing hundreds of hours of audio captured by highly sensitive microphones placed throughout the forest. For days, there was only the rustle of leaves, the calls of birds, and the whisper of the wind. And then, he found it. Buried in the audio from a night when no human was within miles of the site was a strange, low, guttural vocalization. It was not a growl, not a scream, but something far more complex, a whisper, layered with inflection and subtlety. Intrigued, Bryce contacted Dr. Ronald Cosper, a renowned linguist with expertise in rare and proto-languages. After a thorough analysis, Dr. Cosper delivered a verdict that sent shockwaves through the team. The audio contained what appeared to be two distinct types of vocalizations, exhibiting patterns consistent with a rudimentary form of language. This was not the call of a solitary animal. It was potential evidence of communication. It was the sound of a community. This final piece of evidence was the ultimate game-changer. The quest for Bigfoot is no longer a hunt for a monster. It has evolved into the pursuit of a species. The collective evidence, the grisly kill sites, the unprecedented handprints, the knuckle-walking gait, the proof of multiple individuals, and now, the potential for complex vocal communication, paints a breathtaking and humbling portrait. Expedition Bigfoot has pulled the legendary Sasquatch from the shadows of myth into the stark light of a tangible, living mystery. They are now closer than ever, not just to finding a creature, but to understanding a hidden nation that has walked beside us, unseen, for millennia. The forest, they now know, has ears, and it has a voice. The question is no longer if, but when they will finally answer back. The team of Expedition Bigfoot approached this not with a single, desperate pull, but with the patient, methodical precision of a master untangler. Their latest expedition represents a paradigm shift, not because of one single smoking gun, but because of a cascade of interconnected clues that are, piece by piece, loosening the strands and bringing the true picture into stunning focus. The journey begins by discarding the outdated image of a lone, wandering, blob squatch. The team's first major breakthrough was the realization and subsequent proof that they are not tracking a solitary creature. The discovery of multiple, distinct handprints and knuckle marks in the same vicinity was the critical first thread pulled. This single clue transformed the search from a hunt for a phantom into a study of a population. It shifted the biological and behavioral model from a mythical monster to a potentially sustainable breeding group, a concept with profound implications for their habitat needs, social structures, and migration patterns. This was no longer about finding it was about finding them. The next, and perhaps most chilling, strand to be loosened was the behavioral evidence. The discovery of a fresh kill with deliberately shattered bones was a clue that cut deeper than any footprint. While a large footprint confirms size, a behavioral signature confirms mind. This grisly scene, analyzed through the scientific lens of primatologist Dr. Mireya Mayer, pointed away from the random violence of a bear and toward the calculated strategy of an intelligent omnivore. The targeted extraction of bone marrow is a high-yield nutritional strategy, one that fueled the evolution of our own ancestors. This clue did more than just suggest strength, it suggested knowledge. It painted a portrait of a creature that understands the resources in its environment and how to exploit them optimally, potentially even using found tools like volcanic glass. This moved the creature from the category of a mere animal to that of a sophisticated, intelligent predator. The technological strand, corroborating the unseen. In the past, Bigfoot research was often a game of trust. Trust in a witness's story, trust in a blurry photo. The Expedition Bigfoot team has introduced a third, objective strand, irrefutable technological corroboration. When Ronnie LeBlanc heard movement in the tree line, he wasn't alone with his senses. A thermal drone was vectored to his position and immediately detected a large, bipedal heat signature exactly where he indicated. When the creature vanished, the technology confirmed its absence just as surely as it had confirmed its presence. This integration of human instinct with technological validation is crucial. The thermal hits, the audio recordings, and the drone surveillance create a layer of empirical data that supports the physical evidence. The clues are no longer just what they find on the ground, but what their instruments capture in the air and in the audio spectrum, creating a multi-layered, verifiable narrative.